Hey, everybody. Thank you for sending your information to NinjaNationReport@gmail.com. I get some really good information over there, and there's no better news than the news you get from the community. And thank you for liking and subscribing as well. You guys are awesome. Now, I've got 4 stories today about natural gas plants are catching on fire. There's been 3 in the last month or so. Well, one of them wasn't a plant, it was a pipeline. And there was 1 oil refinery in Alaska. Now, I understand this happens, but it's very strange that it's happening at this pace. And I can prove some of my concern in just a second. Let me share the screen with you. First, we've got a pipeline explosion that I've already covered. People are already back home. A pipeline blew up in the middle of a field. Go figure. Why does that happen? I do not know. I've been welding them a long time. And it's not normal, I can tell you that. Now, this is the one in Alaska. June 8th, Petrostar oil refinery cleared. June 28th. A tanker truck inside the loading area of the refinery was the main source of the fire, and that the flames were contained to the truck and the rack of the loading area. All right. Like I said, this stuff happens, but it's happening faster and faster. This happened last Saturday, just 2 days ago. A fire Saturday at Oklahoma facility that handles natural gas prompted mandatory evacuation for a wide swath of homes and businesses near the Medford plant. An unconfirmed explosion was reported at the plant about 85 miles south of Wichita, Kansas, but it wasn't clear if it had triggered the blaze. Incident. The location was described by the company as a natural gas liquids fractionation facility. So it happened. You know, it's 2 days ago. They're not going to come out and say exactly what happened just yet. They like to investigate things further. Now, this last one is the big one. This is the Freeport LNG plant. To put this in context, these guys make enough natural gas for 2.5 million people a day to have electricity. It's probably down here. The impact of the Freeport LNG shutdown became even more significant this week after Russia cut its gas flows to Germany and Italy, with France not receiving any gas from Germany since Wednesday. What's more, Russia Nord Stream #1 pipeline that carries gas from Russia to Europe will be down for weeks for regular scheduled maintenance in July. Isn't that convenient? Look at this map. Here's where the plant is. I don't know if that's Freeport exactly, but this is the area where it comes from, and it goes to Europe. And some reason they go all the way around this continent to go to Europe. But regardless, you know, Russia's telling Europe, you put sanctions on us, you're not going to get our natural gas. Well, they're shutting us down too. Now, the Russian, let's get into this. This is where my welding on natural gas pipelines is going to come in handy. On June 8th, an explosion erupted at the Freeport liquefied natural gas liquefaction plant and export terminal in Texas. 2 LNG pipeline experts told Washington Times national security writer on Tuesday said such pipelines should have an extensive safety mechanism in place. One of the sources said he is confident pipeline flows at the facility would be undertaken from a network controlled facility. Okay, so what's the likelihood of Russia taking over the facility, making the pressure go up too much in a certain pipe and blowing it up? Freeport LNG said that with the damage caused by the explosion, it won't be finished with all of its necessary repairs and return to operations until 2021. There's going to be some cold people over here, people. There's going to be some cold folks here. Now, the incident occurred in a pipe rack. The transfer of LNG from the facilities. Okay, so when it comes out of the ground, when this gas comes out of the ground, the schedule of the pipe usually changes. It usually goes from schedule 40 to schedule 80. It is very unlikely. I just can't see it. I don't know. I wasn't there, and they haven't come out and said exactly what it was, but they knew. They know what it is. I don't know why they're not saying, but there's a little bit more. In the terminal's docking facility, primarily observations suggest that the incident resulted from an overpressure and erupted a segment of LNG transfer line. However, what was not explained is how a critical overpressure even could have occurred without safety systems kicking into action. It should have been Safety City over there. That is not an old plant. They should have had more safety stuff on that than you could shake a stick at. 2 LNG pipeline experts I talked to, who both asked to remain anonymous due to potential regulatory damage to their business interests, say that pipeline corrosion and other material failures can cause these incidents. Well, okay, maybe so. We'll get into that in just a second. Government cybersecurity warning noted by compromising and maintaining full system access to industrial control systems, safety devices, and other actors could elevate privileges and disrupt critical device and functions. That's more than likely, well, I'm just guessing here, but that's probably closer to what happened. So corrosion in the pipes, this happens sometimes, but it's usually on the facility. So when it comes out of the ground, when the gas comes out of the ground, it'll go into this facility, separators, coolers, and whatever it needs. It'll go through an amine plant. If it's got too much of something in it, they'll knock the C2 the H2S out of it, and they will put corrosion inhibitors in it before it enters the pipeline. And then it'll go to these kind of facilities. I've been in several of those facilities, and usually there is no corrosion. There's only corrosion I see is on like saltwater disposals mainly, and a lot of times on the facility itself before the gas gets treated. So yes, that could happen, but I would say, I wasn't there, but probably not. So I'm not sure why they don't want to call it a cyber attack. Maybe it shows weakness or what, but this is a really big deal, and Europe is about to freeze their butt off. So that's it for today, guys. Have an awesome day. Later.